Okay, let's just jump right in. Have you ever had that feeling? You look at your bank account, you look at your paycheck, and you just feel like your money doesn't go as far as it used to. Like it just disappears. Well, you are definitely not alone. So many of us are feeling this squeeze, this sense that the cost of just living is getting way ahead of our ability to pay for it. Today, we're going to unpack this whole affordability crisis. We're going to look at what's really squeezing your wallet and what the numbers say about the crazy high cost of, well, just about everything. And this isn't some abstract economic theory, right? This is real life for families all over the country. Take Jeremy Tolbert, a web developer. His family's health insurance was about to jump 18%. And he knew, okay, something's got to give. This quote, wow, it just perfectly captures that feeling of sliding backward, doesn't it? Going from feeling comfortable to making these really tough choices, almost like you're starting all over again. And it is so far beyond just one family. When you pull back and look at the big picture, it gets even clearer. I mean, look at this number. A full 75% of Americans, that's 3 out of every 4 people, feel that buying a home in their own neighborhood has become unaffordable. For so many people, that's the #1 stressor, and it shows you this is a massive nationwide problem. So what is this invisible thing that's making everything feel so darn expensive? Well, it has a name, and you've probably heard it a million times. Let's really get to know the main force behind this squeeze. And yep, the culprit's name is inflation. All it really means is that, on average, prices for stuff are going up. And when prices go up, the value of your money, well, it goes down. It's that slow, kind of sneaky creep that makes the dollar in your wallet worth a little less tomorrow than it is today. That's why this analogy is just so perfect. It really is like a silent thief. It's not like someone robs you and you see it happen. No, your bank balance looks exactly the same. But then you go to the store and you suddenly realize, wait a minute, some of my money's buying power has been quietly stolen. And here's a perfect way to picture how that works. Think back to the year 2000. A $5 bill could get you a movie ticket, no problem. Fast forward to today, and that exact same $5 bill, it might only cover about a quarter of a ticket. The bill itself didn't change, but what it can buy has just shrunk. That is the silent thief, right there in action. Okay, so let's get specific. Where is this silent thief hitting us the hardest? Because, it doesn't hit everything equally. The real pain is in the stuff we absolutely positively cannot go without. So here's a look at exactly where people are feeling that pinch. We already know housing is the big one. 75% of people are struggling there. But look at everything else. Almost half of us are finding it harder to afford food. And then you've got childcare, healthcare, utilities. It just keeps piling on. And remember, these aren't luxuries we're talking about. This is the basic stuff you need to live. And this visual really shows you that housing gap. It's wild. So the median American family makes about $84,000 a year. But to actually afford a typical house right now, you'd need to be making over $121,000. That is a huge disconnect. And that gap is exactly what's keeping so many people from ever owning a home. And if you've got kids, oh boy, the numbers are just staggering. The average cost for just one kid in childcare is now over $13,000 a year. But here's the really crazy part. That cost is up 30% in just a handful of years. For a lot of parents, that's literally more than their mortgage payment. And the hits just keep on coming, even with the basics. Just keeping the lights on and the water running, those costs jumped 12% in a single year. That's hundreds of extra dollars a year for something you absolutely have no choice but to pay for. So beyond the monthly bills, you've got these huge, life-changing costs. Let's turn to one of the biggest ones out there, getting a college education. Okay, this timeline tells a truly wild story. Just look at this. In the early 60s, a year of tuition at a public college was about $243. By the 90s, it had jumped to over $2,500. And now, we're closing in on $10,000 a year. That kind of explosive growth has totally changed the game for higher education. But that 10 grand, that's just the sticker price for tuition. It's only the beginning. When you add in room and board and everything else, the total cost for 1 year of living on campus is over $38,000. The only way to really save a big chunk of change is to live at home with your family, and obviously that's not possible for everyone. It just shows what a massive financial mountain college has become. Now it's really easy to fall into the trap of thinking everything is just getting more and more expensive. But the truth about inflation is actually a lot more complicated. And your own grocery bill tells a story that's a little different from the headlines. Okay, so this is where it gets super interesting because it shows this weird disconnect. On the one hand, the price of beef shot up almost 15%, but at the same time, the price of eggs actually went down. Car repairs and home insurance got more expensive, but your phone bill and that new computer you bought probably got a little cheaper. This is why the overall inflation number can feel so out of touch with your reality. If your budget is mostly made up of things on the left side of this list, you are feeling that squeeze way more intensely. Your personal inflation rate really just depends on what you buy. All right, so we've looked at all these numbers: housing, food, college, you name it. What's the big picture here? Let's connect all these dots and figure out what this all means for your actual day-to-day life. So what's the bottom line? First, that feeling of being squeezed, it's not in your head. The data absolutely confirms it. Costs for the important stuff are rising faster than our paychecks. Second, it's that silent thief of inflation that's slowly, quietly eating away at what your money can actually buy. But, and this is a big but, it's not happening to everything. While some things might get cheaper, it's the essentials, the services like housing and education, that have seen these insane price hikes over the years. It's a really complex picture, and it's one that defines the financial reality for so many of us. At the end of the day, your household budget, it's more than just numbers. It's a snapshot of all these big economic forces playing out in real life. It shows the trade-offs we have to make, the tough choices we're all facing every single day. So I'll leave you with this to chew on. Your budget tells a story. What story is yours telling about the world today?